Hi guys, it's Erin. Today I thought I'd talk to you a few minutes about one of my favorite and least favorite flowers in the garden this time of year. Let's talk about cosmos. These are some of the most beautiful, delicate looking but tough flowers that I grow here on the farm. And I absolutely adore the way they look in a bouquet. They fill that sort of sparkle or airy element for my bouquets. But I have a real love-hate relationship with these flowers. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you a little bit of why, and then show you my favorite varieties, which are the ones that I'm growing right here. So let's start with the varieties. This one here is Cupcakes Blush. Isn't that the most unique looking Cosmo? I've said it before, I have so many people who stop along in the farmer's market just walking by to stop and point and talk about it and then ask me what these are. These really are, they really are something beautiful. This one right here is Cupcakes White. Same type flower, same bloom, just white. I mean, as the name would suggest. This one here is another gorgeous one. This one is called Apricota. This peachy sort of color, let me focus. Peachy sort of color with that lavendery center. It really is hard to beat in a bouquet. Nothing else has that color combination. And then this one is a double click bicolor. Look at that. This is the same plant, but it's just a different, each seed has a little bit different variation on the variegated part of the petals. But this one, oh, it's just a big puff ball inside of a bouquet, and people love it. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Just need one or two of these in any given bouquet, and it just draws your attention. It makes everything a little bit more romantic. I love them more than I could say. On the other hand, if you look here, you can see them on the ground. That's part of the hate part of my love-hate relationship. I am not the best, I will admit, at staking up my flowers. I've gotten a little better this year. I did it with dahlias and black-eyed Susans and sunflowers a lot better. Not 100%. But I didn't get to my cosmos, and they're flopping and they're tangling and they're such a difficult pain. It's not an easy cut. They're kind of like bachelor's buttons. You have to search out the good blooms and then find the stem inside of this mass of flowers. This point in the year, these will get a couple more weeks, and then I will just do a real hard prune, take them down almost to the ground, and if they make it back, great. Otherwise, that's okay. You guys came along with me when we did some direct sowing. Some of the flowers that did actually take to that are cosmos, thankfully. So I will just almost start over. But these, like I said, these are some of the most gorgeous. So a couple tips on how and when to cut your flowers. So as gorgeous as this is, as you can see here, the bees have already found it. That's a little too late, and these will only last a day or two more in a bouquet once you cut them. So ideally, this is the stage you want to cut them. When they're still mostly closed up, fully colored, getting ready to open. Let's see, here's some apricota that fits that. And then these are even okay at this stage right here for the cosmos, a little more open, but you certainly don't want to pick those ones unless you're using them the same day for like a wedding or some kind of an event. Then they're perfectly fine. They will last long enough in your bouquet. What I tend to do is I will cut both. I'll cut them at this stage where they're just barely starting to open, and I'll cut some like this and put them both in the same bouquet. That way, the people buying them know what the flower is going to look like. Because as much as you want to give them, I've found anyways, as much as I want to give them the longest vase life possible, they're not going to buy a bouquet unless they know what the flowers look like. They walk by a bunch of stems and they're all these tiny little balls that don't have any shape or color. They'll just pass right by. People don't even think about it. If you're selling wholesale or to a florist or any kind of that situation, you definitely need to cut them as close as possible. Like I said, at this open stage, they're only going to last a couple days at best, 2, maybe 3. But if you cut them when they're still closed up and put them in a bouquet, they can last up to a week before they fully open. And if you cut a stem and it has a wide range, that's okay too, because as one bloom fades, another one will be opening, and etc. That's a really good strategy that I use quite a bit, and it works for me. And if you're doing market bouquets, that's a great way to do it. Like I said, if you're doing events like a wedding that's that day or the next day, bright white or wide open is just fine. Otherwise, cut it much more close. They only take a day or so to really open anyways, so it's not like it will take long for your customers to see what they look like. It's a pretty quick video, but I just wanted to talk about cosmos. Like I said, I don't start the seed until probably mid-March. I'd have to go back and look at my calendar, but mid-March probably, and they never come out to get into the ground until well after our last frost, because they're not cold hardy. They will bloom and bloom and bloom. They put out so many blooms. Every plant will put out buckets of blooms. But when it starts to get cool, they start to slow down. They want to go to seed. They'll bloom out faster. And then the minute you get anywhere near frost, they're done. They will just be toast. They don't like it. They don't want it. They won't tolerate it. But they're still worth it. I think this year, well, definitely this year, I didn't grow as many as I have in the past, just simply because they are a pain. They take a long time to cut, but my customers love them. I have customers that request entire bouquets of nothing but cosmos. That's all they want on their table, and I don't blame them. They're super whimsical. They look amazing in a bouquet. They're just, for a flower farmer, not my favorite thing to deal with. Either way, I do love them. I think they're beautiful. I will always grow them, I think, unless, depending on the season, you never know what could possibly happen. But I have every intention of always growing at least some, and at least these varieties. These ones are my favorites. These cupcake ones, blush and white, they're so unusual that it draws everybody's attention, and they're definitely worth it just for the point and shoot factor. People walk by and they point and they stop and ask questions, and it draws their attention in. The apricot is probably my favorite coloring, and then the double click bicolor, it's such a fluffy flower. It is not nearly as sturdy as these stems, the single varieties. The singles, definitely the stems will hold up better in a bouquet than the doubles, just because the weight of the petals on the stem, but it's still worth it. You just tuck them in a little bit more instead of allowing them to just fly free and bounce around outside of your bouquet. Okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope if you haven't already bought seed for next year that you're giving it a shot with some of Cosmos, these varieties in particular. If you have any questions, leave a note in the comments. I try to answer all the comments. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.